Hello, everybody. Welcome to Chat and Chat. My name is Miguel.
I'm Josh.
And we are watching Zara.
VEER ZAARA.
VEER ZAARA. And this is part 4. So, welcome back if you're following along. If somehow or another you have missed part 1, part 2, and part 3, check the link below. Okay? Go and watch all of those, then come back here. And at the end of this one, we'll actually have a review. So you can hear what our final thoughts are and how much we liked it and our rating for the show. So without further ado, I ask that if you haven't already, please subscribe karo, share karo, a like button patapa maro.
की तरफ से कोई नहीं आया?
जी जनाब वो आते ही होंगे।
May I come in, sir? अरे जाकिर साहब आप? Good morning, sir.
Man, I was wondering when Anupam Kher would show up.
That's Mr. Zakir Ahmed.
जानती हूँ इन्हें बहुत अच्छी तरह से जानती हूँ।
Uh-oh.
History.
केस लड़ना भूल गया है। और वैसे भी ये केस बड़ा दिलचस्प लग रहा है। What do you think, Samia?
Oh, he called her by her first name, so obviously he's familiar?
सामिया
Related?
पहले हमारे लिए काम किया करती
Oh,
थी,
used
पर
to. Well, even if she worked for him, he
पसंद नहीं आया।
shouldn't be calling her by her first name.
काबिल मोहतरमा है। इनके साथ केस लड़ने में बहुत मजा आएगा। देखिए आप दोनों को
The look.
Yeah.
मेरा मौकिल 22 सालों से इंसाफ के लिए इंतजार कर रहा है। मैं उन्हें और इंतजार नहीं करवा सकती।
Okay then.
There's a point there.
Yeah.
100%. Oh man, beating him would be so huge. Like, stuff it, man.
Yeah.
ये काम कानून का है। एक वकील का फर्ज सिर्फ इतना है कि वो किसी भी हाल में उस केस को जीते बस और कुछ नहीं।
Oh, it's about the cases you choose to take.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
और मेरा उसूल है सच्चाई के लिए लड़ना।
दिलचस्प। बहुत दिलचस्प।
what the-
That's his catchphrase, I think. He's used it twice now.
What?
बेसिकली आप अपना पहला केस जीतने के लिए मदद मांगने आई हैं, राइट?
Well, if it's for truth and for his
Yeah.
freedom,
Her motivation is still better than yours.
that's not what it's about.
और ये केस तो मेरे लिए जीतना बहुत अहम है, क्योंकि मैं आप जैसे मगरूर नौजवानों को सबक सिखाना चाहता हूँ।
Oh, arrogant.
मत के असूलों पर ना चलने का नतीजा क्या हो सकता है?
Oh, his principle. Oh, geez.
That's so pompous.
Yeah, very.
कि यहाँ जीत की भीख मांगने चली आई।
माफ कीजिए सर। कुछ देर के
Oi!
नंबर 786 को हिंदुस्तान पहुंचाने में आप क्या हुकूमत पाकिस्तान भी मुझे रोक नहीं पाएगी।
Oh, the gauntlet's been thrown down, man. Mic drop, too.
दिलचस्प।
Oh, I told you it's his.
What Duchess? Home cooked meals?
Yeah, I bet.
सच तो ये है कि इतने सालों में मैं खुद अपनी पहचान भूल गया।
She's literally the taste of home for him.
मैं अभी और खाऊंगा, हाँ?
Get his strength back, man.
Yeah.
तो तुम अपना वादा निभाना और मैं अपना वादा निभाना।
That's going to be awfully tough to try to
Yeah, because
convince
he's
a court
got.
without talking about Zara.
Like, she's already up against this tough dude, and she's got one hand tied behind her back and black eye, and he's deaf. You know, it's just a lot of things going against her.
Look how early she shows up.
Yeah.
Because she's nervous. She's like, first day of school, you know, like
Yeah.
being the first kid in class.
Friends would like to call its first witness.
Gotta talk louder than that. Packed auditorium.
Aha! Cleans up. Nice.
Yeah, it does.
He's like, how do I look? Oh,
मुल्क लौट जाए, अपने घर चला जाए, क्योंकि हम इंसान हैं और हमें सिखाया गया है
Oh,
now he's pretending to be human.
yeah.
के खिलाफ काम करता है, उसके लिए 22 साल तो क्या 22 बार मौत की सजा भी कम है।
Oh, wow. Really, dude?
Did they just up the stakes to death penalty?
Sure, dude. That's fine by me. I don't care.
कि मुल्जिम राजेश राठौर मरते दम तक अपने घर या अपने मुल्क की शक्ल देखने के लायक नहीं।
Well, that's not him.
Miss Siddiqui, best of luck.
Man, I hate that look.
Uh-oh. It's that first time jitters. You can do it.
जाने पर आप इतना तड़प उठे हैं तो जरा सोचिए 22 साल रोजाना आपको कोई और नाम से पुकारा जाए तो आप पर क्या गुजरेगी?
Oh, she got the tricks. She had the tricks.
Man.
Oh, he fell right into that trap too.
या पाकिस्तान में रखें या आपके हाथ में। That's all, Your Honor.
अब प्रोसिक्यूशन
She really schooled him.
मैं अपने पहले गवाह पुलिस इंस्पेक्टर दिलबाज खान को बुलाना चाहूंगा जिसने आज
Making paper airplanes, keep himself preoccupied.
गिरफ्तार किया।
Maybe he thinks this whole thing is a charade and there's nothing to be, you know.
Maybe.
बिना किसी शक व शुबे के कि ये शख्स कौन है?
जी हाँ, मुझे बहुत अच्छी तरह से याद है।
Yeah, I was bought off with 1,000 rupees before. I can.
कर गिरफ्तार किया था। हमें इंटेलिजेंस से रिपोर्ट मिली थी कि ये आदमी पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ साजिश कर रहा था।
And where's the document?
Exactly. Where did it come from?
The
Who did it
documentation.
come?
Yeah.
दो पासपोर्ट कैसे हो सकते हैं? इसी वजह से हमारा शक यकीन में तब्दील हो गया। और जब हमने
But it also validates that he could be either.
अपने स्टेटमेंट पर खुद साइन किए,
Oh, yeah,
मैं
but-
राजेश राठौड़ हूँ।
Yeah, that kind of nails it.
786 है। खुदा का बंदा।
Wow.
Oh, he remembered what she said.
22 साल इसने हवालात में काट दिए। इससे बड़ी कोई और सजा क्या हो सकती है?
And for a man that spent 22 years with him would probably know him best.
Well, he said 10, but yeah, even half. That
Yeah.
gets a good idea.
माजिद खान साहब सिर्फ हाँ या नहीं।
जी नहीं।
गुड।
That's not what's on trial.
Yeah.
The thing that's on trial is if he's Rajesh Rathore or Veer. That's it. Not whether or not that they should send a spy back home. That's not what they're arguing.
उसके फौरन ही बाद मैं अपना फैसला सुना दूंगा। डिफेंस अपना केस तैयार रखे। अदालत आज के लिए बर्खास्त।
Wow, 1 week. She's gonna have to.
Hustle.
Yeah. Because it looked like.
Better witnesses. And like maybe someone from India, because she has to, I don't know, like they have to get somebody that's going to recognize him. There's a whole village that knows him.
पास आप जैसे कैदियों के लिए कोई वक्त नहीं है। इस मुल्क में कैदी बहुत ज्यादा है और कोर्ट्स बहुत कम।
Oh, wow, that's sad.
केस की तारीख उनके गुजरने के बाद
Oh,
निकलती है।
that's even worse. Never get the justice in their lifetime.
यही पड़े पड़े मर जाएंगे एक दिन, मर जाएंगे आप। समझ नहीं रहे?
He's clearly not getting his hopes up. Like he wasn't in the courtroom, not here.
ज़ारा अब तक तो 2 बच्चों की माँ बन चुकी होगी।
He had thus.
Just 2, no 10?
अब उसकी हर सुबह हर शाम मत्तम हो चुकी होगी।
And he's not keeping tabs on her, which I think is the strangest thing.
ज़ारा का रिश्ता क्या है और जवाब कोई समझ नहीं पाएगा, कोई समझ नहीं।
They'll let their minds run away.
22 सालों से उसकी इज्जत की हिफाजत कर रहा हूँ।
I can do it the rest of my life.
कुछ देर के लिए वकालत ने इंसानियत भुला दी।
No, she was just trying to be a lawyer. Can't blame her for that.
अब सिर्फ एक ही रास्ता है। मुझे हिंदुस्तान जाना होगा।
Yes. Again, there's gotta be, I mean, the village was huge.
मैं चलती हूँ। खुदा हाफिज़।
See that look in his face? He's like, that actually might work.
अब तक इस तावीज़ ने मेरी हिफाजत की है। अब ये तुम्हारी हिफाजत करे।
Dude, it hasn't done you too much good there. You're in prison. Well, maybe it's kept the riffraff away. I don't know, but.
अगर रोज तुम मेरे लिए बेसन के लड्डू लेकर आओ
Oh, it's a full-time job, man.
Yeah, should have to have the.
Wow, 22 years. I wonder how much the village has changed.
Yeah, this is gonna be scary.
Because they had big plans for it.
Yeah, this is gonna be scary, and without his dad and mom, which I'm sure they're gone by this time, maybe.
अरे भाई साहब जरा सुनिए
Oh, passing. Hi, yeah. Question.
Oh, that's how it works in India.
चौधरी साहब है उनकी बीवी को
जी उन दोनों का तो कई साल पहले देहांत हो गया
Oh, yeah. See.
I mean, 22 years and they were already kind of elder.
ये घर खुला ही रहता है मैं जरा जल्दी में हूँ मुझे माफ कीजिए नमस्ते
Motorcycle man. Bye bye.
Don't worry, there's got to be other people. The village is huge,
Oh.
like I keep saying. Like, you probably had a childhood friend or something.
Oh, wow. It's just.
Oh, the girls' school.
Yeah.
Oh, the girls' school. Who's that?
Who's that? She pretty lady.
You stranger.
Oh, well. I'm crying. I don't want you to. Don't look at me. Please don't look at me. I'm crying.
One of the kids named after her.
Yeah. Oh. Whoa, 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 whoa,
That's
whoa.
why you gotta keep tabs on her. She. So she didn't get married, or she got married and ran away,
Oh,
or
geez.
the dude died and she got away. She's running around with
The
the
stick.
switch.
अरे कुछ बोल भी बहरी है की
No, I don't know where to begin here. Oh, did she just say?
What?
It's her handmaid.
Oh, Shabu came too.
तो सानू की शय दी लोड़ है
शब्बू
और कौन हो सकनी है
Yeah, both of them are like, gotta get the heck out of that house.
और ये सारा
तुसी ऐ पुछण वास्ते आए हो
And she's crying, and I'd be going like, "Why are you crying and calling my name?" And
I like that both of them picked up Punjabi.
लाहौर के जहांगीर हयात खां की बेटी है ना
uh-oh, the past comes back.
वीर की मौत की खबर सुन के सारा ने निकाह तोड़ दिया
But didn't we see?
सारा बाऊजी ते माती की मदद
No, she might have got the news during the wedding.
अब्बा जी ने सियासत छोड़ दी
He quit politics.
2 साल बाद
Oh wow.
जान बसे
Yeah, and the picture on the wall. Mom died too. Yeah.
एक वीर है जिसने कितनी आसानी से अपने 22 साल कुर्बान कर दिए
22 years. They could have been together.
वीर का ख्वाब जिंदा रहे ये खुदा के रूप में इंसान है
That's a profound question.
How do you break that news to someone?
Yeah.
Is there something? Is there writing on it? How would she know?
वीर प्रताप सिंह
She has no. She's
She was like,
speechless.
और मैं आपको उनके पास ले जाने आई हूँ
the agony and can you imagine the journey now? This is gonna be. How do you reconcile 22 years?
You can't. You just move on. Spend the time you can together.
How's it now? How's this going to play out?
डिफेंस काउंसिल कहाँ है?
योर ऑनर
She's
वो भी
late.
आती होंगी
लगता है उन्होंने केस छोड़ने का फैसला कर लिया योर
She
ऑनर
got held up at the border.
गैर
Dude, you were late to the first meeting and you were upset about.
अभी तक नहीं पहुंची साहिल
He
फारूकी साहब,
senses, she said,
आप
just
कुछ
like
कहना
she
चाहेंगे?
sensed him.
Oh yeah, you're right.
मैंने साफ साफ कह दिया था कि आज का दिन डिफेंस के केस के लिए मुकर्रर है तो क्या वजह है कि वो अदालत से गैर हाजिर है
She's got important witness here.
मुलजिम की खामोशी और डिफेंस की तरफ से किसी
I object. Wait, what?
I'm here.
Where is she?
Oh, come on, come on, come on. It's killing me.
You gotta make that entrance.
Everyone's looking like, who's this woman?
I think more so from her side because for her, she thought he was dead. He always knew that she was alive or
Yeah.
had no reason to believe otherwise. So to me, it's more from her side. Like, it's true, he's alive. Time is like frozen.
Yeah. And even though it's in slow motion, you know, this is that whole thing of, you know, for some of us, oh wow, it's they see the other person for who they see them as. And again, what I was about to say is it's that moment in time where it's like seems like an eternity for you, but for the rest of the world, it's just happening in regular time. And then memories, those moments that they had together, that they each got.
They really did a good job with his transformation, like with the makeup and aesthetics.
Oh, and they keep doing these.
I gotta say, after 22 years, they both still held themselves together pretty well.
Yeah, yeah,
And
especially for him.
you're right, 20 years,
in
22 years of prison.
can do you in bad, man.
I mean, that is maybe why he's walking around a little slower.
You don't get great health care.
I thought they were still in the courtroom. I'm like, people in there are probably saying, get a room.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he still has it. I love that too, that sort of symbolism. Like, it's not as shiny as it used to be, but it's still very pretty.
Huh, yeah. These transitions going back and forth, they're good, but at the same time,
Heavy-handed.
a little. So I'm just curious as to what's happened now in the courtroom. It's like going.
We're out. I don't know. He won. He didn't win.
I don't know. He's going to the guards, so I guess he's still in prison. I don't know.
लड़की के दामन को बेदाग रखने के लिए उस इकबालनामे पर दस्तखत किए।
Oh, they told him the entire story.
I guess.
ये अदालत आपको बाइज्जत बरी करती है।
Well, there it is.
Yeah.
She won. She beat that pompous jackwagon.
आपको हक है कि आप सर उठाकर अपने वतन जा सकें।
Man, how do you even...
How do you restart, man?
हवालात में गुजारे हुकूमत पाकिस्तान और ये अदालत उसके लिए आपसे माफी चाहती है।
माफी? बस? कुछ और नहीं है? कोई retribution नहीं है?
Yeah. Oh, he's got something prepared. Wow.
That's all man-made borders are. There's that comparison again.
Yeah.
Of no relation, but still that bond.
Yeah.
He's a poet. He is a poet. Dropping words.
And truth. Definitely.
Oh, the lawyer stands. Okay.
A little slow, but
Yeah.
we'll let
he's
him
like,
have it.
Yeah, I'll give
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All the ladies coming up saying you did a great job. One for the team.
Ramya, congratulations.
I did not expect him to be the type.
उस मुल्क को तो कोई रोक ही नहीं सकता. Thank you, Samir.
Look to the future, not the past. That's
Yeah.
The value of truth and justice.
Wow, dude.
He completely did a 180 there in a week. There she goes. Promise fulfilled.
Oh, this is where he marries with the little color
लीजिए.
Well, that she's taken.
taken.
Yeah, with the sindoor.
तुम एक परी ही हो जिसको खुदा ने सिर्फ हमारे लिए भेजा है.
Yeah, if not for her. That's a welcome sight for him.
Yeah.
Half of his life. How good that feels.
Yeah.
Ghar chale. 22 saal baad.
Like, I did good.
She did great. You did it.
Oh, they're riding on the bicycle?
Yeah, they are. I don't see those 10 children yet, though.
No.
It's gotta get some of that youth back.
Yeah. She's their cheerleader. Well, his aunt and uncle, but his mom and dad. Whew, that was a roller coaster.
Yeah, it was. That was pretty sweet. So I really like the storytelling in this because the way the screenplay was laid out in the very beginning, we had this opening number where I was like, wow, this is gonna be over the top, cheesy, romantic, all that.
Yeah.
And then we're following them around, just frolicking in the flowers, and then boom! And I was like, oh my gosh, she was just shot. And so throughout the movie, I was waiting for that. I was like, when is she gonna get shot?
Right.
And then obviously by the time then we start getting more and more into it, I'm like, okay, she's not gonna get shot? Because I was like, I thought she was gonna run away from the wedding and they were gonna try to run across the border together through the hills and mountains.
Yeah.
And then she gets shot. Like the Raza sends some
So-
assassin after them or
Yeah,
something.
so it'd be a romantic tragedy.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a tragedy in a way, but
Yeah.
not what I think it could have been even more tragic, like with something like that, or, you know, there's other ending possibilities. But that got me to think like, oh my gosh, there's this big tragedy, and then there were these moments that, you know, you saw them, that they just like pop you out of like this, you get so comfortable and they kind of almost seduce you into this feeling of like comfort. But
Things
then,
are good,
boom.
and then yeah.
Yeah,
There
and
were
s-
a number of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that, and I like that they kind of got you to believe that. But through this entire time, I was like, dude, you didn't make it a condition of you signing that paper that you would get proof and evidence that she was going to be taken care of, because you're taking this evil monster at his word that he's just going to like treat her nice. I would have been like, no, I need to like have news clippings and articles and all that sort of stuff to make sure that she's alive and she's well and she's happy, because he could be treating her like crap while he's in prison rotting away for no apparent reason.
Yeah, and it could have easily been arranged. He already had an in with Shabu. Yeah.
She could have been the middle person to go back and forth.
Exactly. That could have been her penance.
Maybe but I think once you start talking that way, you get into it. So you just got to like look at it as a movie. And looking at this in the genre, I was a little hesitant because, guys, this is not my favorite genre out of all of them. Like romantic tragedies or romantic dramas, as you might call it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, yes, this was entertaining and these can be entertaining, but when I watch movies, I like to be uplifted and taken away and just like wham bam and comedy.
Well,
and
but I think you could take away from this that the uplifting spirit of just how
love transcends time.
Love, and love can be very encompassing. It can be addicting and it can get you into trouble. I think that, you know, you were bringing up the whole bit about that he was willing to sign with no conditions and everything. I think he was so blind in his love for her, and that's the only thing that he was thinking of. So I think he became very blinded to it, and was figuring out what's the best thing that I can do for her.
Yeah.
You know, regardless of what's going to happen to me and to my family. Okay, you know, his dad had big plans for him, and so
but if he signed, he knew that he was giving away all of that.
Well, he already knew he had pretty much given it away with.
Well, not if he would have like dishonored her and told the truth. If he told the truth, that was the options he had, right?
Right.
So he could have gotten home and all that sort of stuff, but he didn't because the love he had. And I really like your point. You just made an amazing point that just, you know, I'm siding with you. That love, and that was a line even here. That love, you're blind in love, so you don't read the fine print. You know, you just jump in. You're like, okay, cool, dude, I'll sign here, whatever. And then also one thing that I was thinking, and then towards the end, it started making me realize something when Samya handed the talisman back to Preeti's character, Zara, is that I was like, wait a second. I was originally thinking, because money equals power means you could do whatever you want in the country, I was thinking that they caused the bus crash.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
But then I was like, wait, and I was like, this talisman did nothing. You ended up in prison and you weren't protected, or else you would have been home or you would have got safe. No, it did protect him, because I think that bus crash was an actual accident. I don't think they caused it, because when you're watching it, that bus seemed like it lost control. It was raining, it was wet, the roads were windy, and it fell off a cliff. Now, unless you paid someone to kill himself and go off the cliff as the driver or something, because no one in that bus survived.
Right.
So I'm thinking it was an actual accident, which if he would have gotten on that bus, he would have died and they would have had no years together at all. But the talisman got him out of the bus and into the prison, and it's the thing that brought them together in the end, because it's the thing that was given to her that gave her the sign that, hey, he is actually still alive. So it did protect him to bring him into the prison instead of the bus crash. So yes, he lost 22 years, but he didn't lose his entire life, and that still gave them those years to be together.
True.
And I really like that aspect of this movie, is that talisman.
Yeah, but they said that called off the marriage when she found out about the crash.
But there was a line right after that that said that her dad got her a divorce. So if they can prove, because this is in most marriages too, right? If you can prove that the marriage wasn't consummated, or if there was, you know, something, because maybe during the reception or whatever it is after the ceremony that we saw, if she got the news, because remember, it happened that night. That bus was supposed to reach there that same day.
Right.
So she might have got the news that night that the bus crashed and then he died, and her husband would probably rush to go tell her, because he might think that, oh, if he's dead, then she will love me. But
there's a whole other level here that if we think about it, what if he got the news about the bus crash and that's why They got him off the bus before. No, okay.
Anyway,
All right,
so
yeah.
so they annulled the marriage, I think, that very day, because then she basically might have went to her dad and said, "Look, I'm out of here. I can't do this." And he was already starting to like slip, because he was crying and he got emotional.
Right.
And I mean, the camera movements really fooled me in that moment, because the camera started like getting really close on her, getting really close,
Yes.
started making me feel uncomfortable, because I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling the love here, man. And his hand was already like on her. I thought, oh, I was getting really dark. I'm glad it didn't go there, but I was getting a little dark. But yes, so I like that, and then I also like the way all these relationships weren't related, and that means a lot to me, because some of the biggest and closest relationships I have in this life aren't blood related.
Right.
And to be able to have a connection that you feel this bond and this connection with someone that isn't blood but transcends that, it really shows, like, I think a more human side and like humanity, that it's more than just blood, and it's like we as humans can connect on that level without there being this blood. Same if you compare that to countries and borders, is even though you are not in the same country and on the same side of the border, it doesn't mean that you can't have those like countrymen connections with another person from another country.
Yes.
Right? And so they made so many of those when it was her and her grandma that wasn't actually her grandma, but her caretaker that she saw as her grandma.
Yes.
And she even brought him on that ritual with her. And even the customs and traditions that she, being a Muslim, would go to a gurdwara and do these last ritual rites for this woman that she saw as family, and partake in it. And her mother even telling Veer that in all of your next lives, like,
you'll be
I
together,
hope you guys will be together, which is just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And so all of these customs and stuff coming down, and everyone respecting each other's customs and all that. Now look, this is a filmy world, and yes, I wish reality was more like that, but I think movies can show you what the world might be able to look like if we were able to learn from these things and make those same connections without like thinking that the world is going to end if I say like Khudafis or Namaste to somebody that isn't of the same religion.
Exactly. Okay, so what's your...
Yes. So in this genre, like I said, it's not my favorite, but if I'm looking at this genre specifically and rating it for that, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 because I was thoroughly entertained. I did think there were a couple moments that just lasted a little too long. I really wanted...
Before you get there, let me get so that I don't get tainted too much and everything.
Sure, tainted. Go for it.
So I am actually going to give it a slightly higher score. I'm going to give it a 9. I really liked the storytelling and kind of jumping off of the whole bit of understanding these relationships and being human. And it was even brought up, being human, okay? Although the other evil lawyer tried to turn that around and show that he was human, but in a weird way. But there were some themes there that, particularly she was a female lawyer. She was the first female. She made it very clear that this was very big in Pakistan for her to win this case because there were so many women looking at her, the same thing. Yeah. So there's this whole dynamic of female, male roles and all of that sort of stuff. And you saw it also in the with Zara. Thank you. I'm like getting, my name is all running around my head here. She was raised as a boy. Okay, and early on,
that was an interesting thing for her dad to say.
And she was very contemporary. You know, she told, his dad, girls, and suddenly he's like, whoa, okay.
That's true. She was a very progressive thinker for where she's coming from.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and so there were all these overlapping themes of ageism, of culture, of gender, class even. To a certain, because again, she came from a very privileged class.
She was like an heiress.
And she was doing pretty good there on the farm. And to see her later on there in the school.
Yeah, gave everything up.
She gave everything up. And I'm like going, there was some just really heavy themes. And you've got this overall arching love story that is kind of driving it in a way. I almost think that it's the burning thing underneath that is allowing them to be this way. And I have to think about that some more. But in the moment, that's kind of where my mind and thinking is kind of going. So I really like that. And it was very, very well done. Sure, it was very movieized, and it seemed to be things seemed to happen very quick and so forth. I mean, that lawyer did a 180 pretty quick. I was like, oh yeah.
He's like, I'm a terrible human. Wait a second, you changed my mind. I lost this case. Congratulations, I'm a new person.
He would have probably stormed out of there. Some woman. And gone, you know. So,
but again, it's a movie.
It's stylized, and I think it's there to open the conversation and get people to think about, could that really be? Could that really be? And should we be really trying at least? Yeah, it may not go exactly like in the movies, but at least we can try. Okay,
for sure.
So I like that. So that's why I'm going to give it a good 9. I really did like this. I thought it was very well done, and there were lots of interesting visuals, symbols that I saw coming through that I really, really liked a whole lot. And again, love the architecture and a whole bunch of other things there. And you know I could go on for days for that. Yeah. So let's talk about some of the things that were just a little bit annoying, okay? Sure. Some of the effects and so forth, I was like, okay, I'm getting nauseous. You know, we're spinning around too much.
2004.
I'm like going, that's a little too much for me. And I think, okay, we've done it enough times, let's move on. And I get that it was the whole bit of, we've kind of pulled out of reality just to live in that airy kind of dreamy fantasy world of love and so forth. But I'm like, it's just kind of weird because you're like going, they're in a courtroom, okay? Yeah. And, you know, yes, time is standing still for everybody, for them, and is moving very slowly, but for everybody else, it's all uniform and so forth. And I just found that kind of really weird, okay? I don't know. So there were a couple of places where there were things like that were happening that I was kind of like, okay, I get it. You're trying to convey, I think, an emotion here or some sense of being, but I couldn't quite connect with it. There were other places where I got really cinty about it because I got the emotion, okay? But sometimes when you do these over-the-top kind of things, it's like it gets really hard to be cinty or connect with it unless you really get into the artsy element of it. And I was like, okay. So I kind of let those slide a little bit. And as soon as they started, I was like, okay, just turn it off. Turn it off for myself.
It's also 2004. So if this was made today, obviously the style of editing and all that sort of stuff would be a little bit more modern.
Right.
So you gotta give it a little bit of a pass. But even for 2004, that circling camera with all those like transition cuts, like, ooh, the split screens and stuff, it was getting to be a lot even for me because there was a point in the beginning I was just like, hey, it's 2004, let's go. Okay. Okay, all right, this is getting a little much now. So I agree, and it did drag a little bit. Now for me, I really wanted some dialogue that, now they conveyed a lot on their faces, which I give the actors credit for because they did a lot on their faces, which showed that emotion, and I think the camera movements took it away.
True.
But maybe if there was a little bit of dialogue that could really bring you in there and just wrench on your heart, because if this is supposed to be some of the drama, like emotional, and saying like, "Tum, yeah, guess it," like I don't know, something like that.
Even just to know, just to feel that sudden heartbreak that you have been apart for 22 years.
And then maybe one of them tried to apologize, but the other one says, no, stop.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, something like that. But then you can hear their voices crack and break. And I think that's some of the things that, because when you hear a person break down audibly, like it also breaks you down, right?
Yes.
So I think that would have been really nice for that moment, because that is what I was waiting for this whole movie, is that if they could get back together, right? And then we see it, but then it's like taken away by this camera movement that really ruined it. Also, her not getting on the stand, I was like, maybe that was questionable because we didn't see her testimony. But maybe it's a cultural thing because we've seen a lot of these courtroom dramas, and anytime the wife or the female like heroine or something
tear 'em
goes
apart.
up, they tear them apart, and then it's always like, no, don't show this. I don't want my wife on the stand or something like that, and they do whatever they can to keep her off the stand.
Right.
So maybe this was a way to cut around that so they wouldn't have to like deal with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I do like what you're saying about all the themes. Now, this was a 3-hour and like 12-minute movie, so I mean, but they fit a lot of things into here that I didn't think was a cheap cut around, you know, because as you said, women empowerment, women rights, all that sort of stuff, women, school for women, jobs for women, that they can do what guys can do, raising a girl like a boy, and that there shouldn't really be a difference. And then talking about borders and countries and countrymen, and then there's also religion in there subtly, like here and there. I'm glad that they didn't push religion on your face, but they just showed it like in subtle ways. So if you understand the customs of both religions and seeing every time those religions crossed each other's path, I think that was really, really well done. And talking about relationships and family, and I mean, talking about marriages and all of that stuff. I mean, it was layer.
Yeah.
So I think they did a really good job.
Yeah.
So I think they did a really good job at layering those without it getting too murky
or preachy.
And we've seen some movies that got way too preachy that I was just really turned off by. And I was like,
and someone launched into a soliloquy, and you're just kind of like, oh, geez, okay, stop.
Okay. But this worked really well, and I like I said, you know, earlier, this is not my genre, but I really enjoyed this movie, and I'm glad that we watched it. And I'm glad that you all recommended it because it is really good. And I tend to maybe shy away from these a little bit because it's hard to watch movies that make you feel sad. But in the end, like, it was uplifting.
It was very uplifting. Very uplifting.
I like the message. So the message is good, and you do with the time that you have, and try to make the memories with the time that you have, because you're never guaranteed tomorrow. And I think that is a big message too. So that's what you got to do. Let us know in the comments, like usual, what you guys thought of this, because I enjoy reading them, and it helps us understand you better when I read why you like this movie or what you rate it. And really, keep these recommendations coming. It's really hard to hit all of them. This is a 3-hour movie, and both Miguel and I have jobs, so trying to do a 3-hour movie, fitting that into the schedule,
rough.
is tough. But we are here to do that, so keep these recommendations coming, because I do appreciate them, and you are heard. I'm reading all these comments. And, you know, if you haven't yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the bell icon. A like button par thappad maro.